I don't know why. She told me it's not your fault, but you don't realize that I never wonder what's the truth in your eyes. There's a light that makes me blush. I won't look back when you're around. I won't think twice when you're gone. Don't hesitate to pull me back, 'cause I won't be there. I won't look back when you're around. I won't think twice when you're gone. Don't hesitate to pull me back, 'cause I won't be there. I won't look back.
I'm getting freaky, yeah, I'ma bring the crazy. Get that freaky, freaky on, get that freaky, freaky on. I'm getting freaky, get it right, get it right. Get that freaky, freaky on, 챙겨 보고 다 같이. I'm getting freaky, yeah, I'ma bring the crazy. Get that freaky, freaky on, get that freaky, freaky on. Freaky, get it right, get it right. 상관하지 마.
Probably.
And we are live for ProMods Live. We're doing questions for all of the viewers and driving through the newly made areas connected to Europe with the Great Step. Hello team, ProMods team, introduce yourselves.
Hello, I'm Mandelsoft, one of the admins, and currently also the guy that tries to keep this thing all working between the patches. And yeah, I have worked for SCS for 2.5 years, but currently I'm actually doing this a bit for SCS as a freelance, but I can't tell anything about it. So any questions about that, I cannot answer. But yeah.
No questions about SCS.
Yeah, but for ProMods I can answer still quite a lot, and I'm the guy responsible for preparing the beta files. I'm also doing quite some asset work, just keeping this whole the thing working on the technical side. So that's about me.
Lovely. We visit to the guy whose truck is at the front of the queue at the minute. Tedesco.
Me?
Yes.
Oh. Hi. I've introduced myself a few times, but I mainly work on Great Step, the Caucasus, and I played a huge part in making this connection happen here. I had a lot of help, but it all started way back. I think it was 2 years ago.
This is your baby.
That's exactly my baby. That's right when I joined. That's kind of what I have always been working on in ProMods. I have a few endeavors in Europe, but not too much. Yeah, that's me.
All questions about this
Robinson
update we are putting to you then.
Yeah, I imagine most will.
Next, behind him in the trucks is Pim.
Hello, my name is Pim Jong-un, or Pim for short. I've been a developer for, I think, 1.5, 2 years now. Done some small stuff in Europe, some stuff in the Netherlands. I did Dubrovnik in Croatia, and I'm currently working on Gibraltar. Yeah, that's basically it for now.
Any questions from Gibraltar will probably be answered by you. Next, I do not know how to pronounce your username at all. Begins with a Q.
You don't have to work. Yeah, so, hello, my name is Quicksilver. I've been a ProMods developer for 5 years already, and you might know my work from places like Brno, for example, or I've also worked on the Hebrides Islands in the United Kingdom, and my latest work was actually on this project, on the Caucasus project. I helped Tedesco and Emre a little bit with Tbilisi. I'm not really sure if we are gonna go through that area today, but if we want, you can always download our mod and check it for yourself.
I
And I
recommend
guess
it.
that's all from my side. Yeah, it's very recommended. Definitely do that.
Then the last and final person driving with us, we have one of our newest people to the team, Mercian,
He's the
I
newest,
think it's
actually.
pronounced. The
The
newest.
newest.
Yes, I'm the newest. Hello, I am Mejran, also Emirjan. I have been a ProMods developer since 48 hours, so I'm a bit new. I don't have a released place yet, but I hope you will love it when it's released, and I can't wait to drive these amazing roads made by this amazing team.
Yeah.
I hope it will be a good drive.
The amazing team
But,
that you're no part of.
Yes.
But your plans are actually related to the areas we are driving to, because you want to develop areas in Turkey near the Caucasus, right?
Yes, that's right. That's right.
So it's still a bit related.
It's
Yes.
amazing.
We're gonna
It's
get
still
started
related.
on the drive.
But
And then
that's
obviously-
something the public can check out in the future.
Yes,
And
there is
then-
a little bit more time until then.
Yeah.
Future updates to look forward to. Lots of information to spill that we can
Yeah.
tease. Obviously, some things we can't, but we can tell you what we are working on. Unless we want to keep it a secret.
No, we gotta keep some secrets. If we told everyone everything, we wouldn't have the
Any
hype,
charm
the
left?
suspense,
Yes.
you know?
And today we will be doing a drive together. We're going from Varna through most of the new areas, connecting the Great Steppe to Europe, and finishing in Turish.
Middle of nowhere.
So, should we begin?
Yes, let's go.
Witness some very questionable driving from some people.
No. I'm gonna behave myself today.
We hope so.
I'm gonna drive just like I drive in real life.
If the chat has any questions, feel free to ask them as we stream. We have some questions from our Discord server as well already. We will also answer some of them throughout the stream. We'll start with one of them. From Johanna96. He says, will there be more of Norway soon?
I wouldn't expect anything more from Norway for now, because we are waiting for the Nordic Horizons DLC to be released. So working in Norway at this moment is kind of a wasted effort.
Yeah.
Because SES is already working on there.
That doesn't stop us from doing things over there to complete the DLC once it comes out. That's probably what will happen.
What we are going to do is we'll just wait until SES is done there, and in the meantime, we are focusing on other areas.
Yeah.
And once SES work is done and DLC is out, then we can start improving. Maybe we can start with some infilling if SES have skipped some areas. But we will see about that in the future.
Lovely. And I think that's a very nice bridge to go off on going seamooring areas. We've just had a question in from Jim. Are you going to do anything more of the UK? And Andrew specifically wanting more on potentially Ireland.
Who wants to answer that? I personally don't know much about what we're doing in the UK.
At the moment, we have no dedicated developer for that area, so there's not much moving over there.
Yeah, there's nothing grandiose at the moment over there.
So
Like we said, we're venturing in other places now.
nothing dedicated towards the United Kingdom, but I think this is a very good lead. Obviously, we have the new team member
Dedicated?
on board,
No.
and someone in our Discord server came along with the question of how do we look for new developers obviously we don't hire. Like we don't like
Yeah, we don't
make
hire.
applications. So how are we looking
Well, we-
for new developers? How does that happen? If someone
What we
someone
do
wants to
is,
become one?
yeah, that's the first thing you should do is not ask
Definitely.
if you can become a developer. That's the first thing you should do, because we're not a company. We're not hiring people. We usually handpick people from the community and from our server in Discord or the forum in the show your work sections. If the work is good, we observe and then contact. But we also take a look at people's, attitudes and how they talk to how they talk in their community server. We don't just select people for their good work. So it's a tough process, and it's very selective.
That's awesome. Obviously, we are going
Yeah,
into
the-
new areas of the map now as well, taking our first ferry connection.
Yeah, but the
But do you
whole attitude thing is something that shouldn't be underestimated. There are some people whose work was good, but they totally didn't click with the team.
Yeah,
And then you can't really cooperate in that way.
there are many examples.
Richie,
We
I think
all,
once we reach Georgia, you should probably go first in the convoy so people are not looking at the back of someone's truck
Yeah.
all the time.
yeah.
We are loading into one of the new connections.
I'm
still
going
Georgia.
slow because I don't want you guys to be
Yeah, we have to all go
Like,
through the port one by
left
one.
behind. But you tell me to drive fast, I'll drive fast. Let's see if we can catch up.
We have questions in from Adam. Obviously, we are going into the new areas. Will we have any further expansions from these areas and more cities in Georgia?
In Georgia.
Georgia, maybe not really, but there are some for in Azerbaijan and in Armenia. There's still so much that we actually can expand there over there.
Fucking AI.
In terms of a timescale, what would you say to expect on a timescale from those updates? Obviously, not anytime soon because we have just released loads. But what can people expect?
In Georgia, just to complete that part, there's nothing going on. There's nothing we need to do in Georgia still. So the best there is some work in progress stuff that we haven't finished, like Zugdidi, but it's not ideal for the plans that we have ahead. So and nobody shows interest in it. So it's what we said. It's probably Azerbaijan or who knows, Armenia. Armenia only has one city for now.
Yeah, but also don't forget the Turkish
hope-
side.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
There's some stuff that we want to do in Turkey. And although we cannot go into too much detail, it's gonna be big. That's what we can say.
That's awesome. Speaking of big updates for this, 2.74 is the update we have just released.
Yes.
Let's go through a bit more on this update. What really is in this update? What are we driving through? How has this been built? Why has this been built? And just give us some more details on this specific area.
Okay, so initially, what was gonna happen is we were going to connect Great Step with Heart of Russia DLC, but since that's not happening anymore, or at least it looks like it, we had to shift our focus to something else, and we still wanted to have Great Step connected to the rest of stuff, meaning Europe. So number one reason why we started making the connection, the Caucasus corridor as we call it, was that we wanted to connect Great Step to what ProMods and the main area in ProMods, you know, Europe, and that was the main motivator. Second motivator is me personally, I've always wanted to work on these places. I mean, we had Georgia, this area that we're driving on is kind of like the shift between like old and new. But we had Georgia for years, but it was very small, and I always wanted to see it being bigger. I've been to Georgia myself in real life, and I really like you know, recreating post-Soviet landscapes. It's really nice. I like it, and that's another motivator. But the main idea was to connect Great Steppe in the quickest way possible without making it look like a straight road, just to connect to the map. That's why we have Armenia, you know, random city in Turkey, just so it doesn't look too dull. That was the main idea of the Caucasus thing. That gives us more outreach to Great Steppe. People can no longer wonder how you get there in, you know, Truckers MP and stuff. Like, oh, you gotta teleport, and that was a bit, you know, not too practical. So.
Speaking of this, you've mentioned that this is big because we're connecting ProMods to the Great Steppe. We've had Forrest asking, have we thought about a land connection between Europe and the Middle East?
Thought about it, yes, but it's a long distance to cover.
Yeah, it's a lot of work. If you want to talk about plans that we have a lot, but we don't have any active work in that project.
We have
But you know, things can change depending on what happens in the future.
We have one question from Razila that's just come through on Twitch. Will we adding more places in Kazakhstan?
Most definitely. But the thing with Kazakhstan is, like I've been saying before we joined the stream, Kazakhstan, I mean, Great Steppe is not from ProMods originally. It was given to us by a Kazakh modder. He was like, he was overwhelmed with stuff that he wanted to do, and he thought it was the best idea to give it to us. So what's been happening for years now, 2 or 3 years, is we've been reworking the areas that he made. So most of them are in Western Kazakhstan to like today's standards. And as soon as that's done, you know, the entirety of the rework projects, then what's going to be left is expansions. And yes, it's bound to happen at some point. And for example, Uzbekistan was an exception, but it's kind of a glimpse on what the expansions can be.
So speaking of this, we're taking maps and obviously in the context of the Great Steppe, given a map. Recently we did announce ProMods Magreb. Let's go into a bit more on that. Obviously this is completely unknown to most people. We haven't shared a lot at all about this. What can we reveal to people first now about this map? What content do we have, and what are our plans?
Okay, so take Great Steppe for example. It's kind of that. It's kind of what that is. It wasn't gifted to us. We talked to the ProMods to the Magreb team, and then we thought it was beneficial for both of us to have that in the ProMods brand. So that's how it happened. And as far as plans go, what we're doing is the same as Great Steppe. Like I said, we're polishing and making sure that it's up to our standards, so we can then release.
We've been doing a lot of cleanup over there, so we have a lot of assets replaced or some retooling of the landscape, and So it's
The first-
technically more up to standards.
Yeah, the first thing that happened with Great Step, for example, was just like a cleanup of things, and it had very few reworks. It wasn't that big as compared to today is in terms of rework. So it's kind of what Magreb is going to be in the first release. It's a polished version with a few reworks, nothing too grandiose. But we understand the impatience when it comes to the lack of information that we share on this project. But there's a reason why we do that. We know that we don't want to share something unfinished or that's not polished, and then, have people complain later. So we take our time with this thing. We like building the hype. We're taking our time. We want something perfect. So we don't want a sloppy release, especially of a new project.
Of course, and we would never give anything out to anyone that's of poor standards.
Yeah.
We go back onto this because obviously over the years we've released all these new updates and new places, new map expansions. But I would like to go and visit the old expansions that we've done. We recently, well, in the past years, released ProMods Classic. Obviously,
Yeah.
that has featured some of the oldest places. Out of those oldest places, or even some of the ones that you have made in the previous times, which is your favorite that you have made?
I'll let the others answer first. Just so we don't have me talking
Obviously,
all the time.
The new person can't answer this one just now, but
Yeah, obviously.
But I personally haven't made that many cities over the years. More things like asset work or maybe some roads. But I'm still quite happy with how Chisinau turned out in Moldova.
yeah. Is there
That's how you
anything
say it.
specific about that you prefer? What's your favorite part?
Then I actually made some monuments for it at the city entrance, which was overall custom made. But it was also quite a lot of work with the assets from the Black Sea DLC, which I kind of used to its fullest, and it was actually compressed quite a lot in a tight space. And that was before visibility areas were a thing.
Oh god.
But yeah, there's also, I think, one complicated junction in there. I'm quite not. That's quite with I think some gas station integrated with, but I'm quite happy with that.
It's
But
understandable.
yeah, a lot of the work that is also on the map is more of my work that I've done for SCS, so that doesn't count. So that's sort of things
Of
like
course.
Lyon or I think I've. Let's see, what's also one city that I made? There's also something in, let's say, an upcoming secret project for the SCS that, or at least, maybe it is announced, but it is what I'm precisely working on. I can't tell, but I'm also
Perfect.
quite happy
Alright.
with that.
Let's go for the next. Pim, what is your favorite?
Like, we're talking about like areas
Places
that are no
that you
longer in the
work-
map, right? Oh, no,
Areas
that I
that
worked
you
on.
have made, yes.
Yeah, and what's your favorite?
Yeah, I think the favorite thing that I've made so far is Dubrovnik. It's just like the latest, newest thing that I've finished.
What was the process
Um,
behind this and why?
Well, Dubrovnik was when the West Balkan DLC came out, and I noticed that that city was actually missing in Croatia in the DLC. But it was kind of like there as like a scenery. The whole bridge was there and like a road going up to it. So like, yeah, no, I'll just make it myself then. So I just started working on that because of that.
we go to the next person as well. I still struggle your name. It begins with a Q.
Actually,
Yeah. Well, my favorite place that I've made would be the Brno project. I wasn't the only person working on it, but I did quite a lot of work on that project. And the reason why I probably like it the most is because I know the city very well from real life. I actually live there. But I haven't back at the time when I created it in ProMods, so I wasn't affected by those so-called home bias, as we say here within our team. Well, I think in general it's a quite big city, and there are a lot of interesting places. For example, there's one place near the river where a railway is joining the road actually, and it's then going right through the middle of the road. Like, it's quite a rare example of street running. Unfortunately, it's not like that anymore in real life because like the railway was removed like last year, if I remember correctly. But it's still, I think it's still a pretty cool detail, and it's still in our game. So if people don't know what I'm talking about, they can go to Brno and check it out.
Definitely
guess
do
that's
recommend checking
everything.
out these areas. 100%. If you can install ProMods, go and explore all of the places that we are mentioning. They are 100% worth it for some beautiful drives. Let's move on to you, Ted.
well,
I think
one
I
of
know the answer to this, but what is yours favorites that you've made?
I mean, we're driving in one of them. This town. I really like what I did here. But when it comes to favorite, it has to be so far Akhtel in Kazakhstan, because I'm not really used to making big, cities, especially in the desert. But I managed to do it pretty well, and I did some, experiments there that normally you don't see in other, areas in ProMods. For example, you have animated billboards, stuff that, wasn't really present at all in other areas. I think I crashed from.
Yeah, I think you.
Oh,
Like
you
I
just
said on my screen that you left.
you
the
just
convoy.
disappeared.
Yeah, I crashed from the convoy. Anyways, so Akhtel was really a place where I could, experiment with these new things, and I think I did it pretty well, and it turned out pretty great. I really like it.
We've just had another member of the team join. His name's Starper.
Hello there.
Hello.
Sorry for inconvenience.
Do not
No
worry.
worries.
Should we?
I had something to do first.
No, go.
Yeah.
Just
No,
keep
don't
driving.
worry.
I'm gonna drive.
Should we introduce you to
No,
the
no.
team, to the stream?
Sure, I can introduce myself. So I'm Starper. I'm a ProMods developer. I joined in November last year. And my current projects are like ProMods Magreb first, but for now it's like just preparing for the release. Afterwards, projects and all that. I think we're gonna talk about that later on. Maybe, I don't know.
Yes. We will.
But and my
Already
yeah.
did.
Oh.
Oh.
Yeah, there's some
Okay.
stuff on the road, so-
No, we're gonna talk about it more
Okay.
probably. So don't worry.
Yeah, sure.
There's a
And
sideways police car here.
My
Yeah.
and my own personal projects right now is
Least the kids met,
Canary Islands.
Yeah, let's go some time to catch up.
Yeah.
No, don't worry. Just keep
Yeah.
driving. I'm gonna catch up.
Yeah.
I'm speed.
And just to complete, as I said, ProMods Maghreb and my own personal projects in Canary Islands. So I started with for now just one island, but maybe after that maybe I'm gonna complete the whole archipelago. Let's see.
This is very interesting. We've literally just finished going around asking, what is the favorite area on ProMods that you have made and why?
Oh,
Let's do this for you.
I mean, my only answer is gonna be the only place I'm working on right now. So, yeah, because I'm fairly new to map in 1 to 19, because I started fictional projects, like just to get the hang of the hang of mapping. Now, since working on Canary Islands, I think I'm really enjoying it. So yeah, it's probably my my only project and my favorite one.
I'm loving that. We've got from in chat, what country is this? This is still Georgia, I believe.
Yes.
Yes.
Still in Georgia.
I think we will be for about half an hour more, I think. I don't know how far we are in.
Yeah, we're approaching Tbilisi.
Yeah, we're gonna pass the capital, and that has a bit of traffic, and after that it's just another town and then the border. So like
Should we
20 or so
drive
minutes.
a little
driving.
bit into the capital?
I mean, no, we can't actually do that for the simple reason that trucks don't go in there.
Oh, this
Well,
is
we
true.
can. What we can do is go to the airport, but I don't really think it's
Well-
necessary. You're gonna see everything, unless you wanna see your stuff fixed to be.
I guess we could theoretically do like a little loop through like the area that I have built and then Marnelli and
Yeah.
around the Red Bridge border area because we are going actually quite quickly. At this pace, we might get to Kazakhstan in I don't know
Yeah.
45 minutes or
Yes.
something like that.
The stream's
Yeah.
gonna
Let's
last 1
do
hour.
that then.
We
Let's
have
do that then.
one very good question here. Where is Turkey, and what are our plans for Turkey? Obviously, we have a very little bit of it in the game at the moment. What are our plans?
It's a bit volatile at the moment, because it would make sense if SES would actually make a Turkey DLC because it's a big market, and as you can already see, we have a lot of Turkish fans, and that should also make sure that SES also has a lot of Turkish fans. So it would make sense if they would consider doing Turkey.
It would.
When they're going to do it, we don't know. Or if they're going to do it, but it would make sense if Turkey would be done by SCS. But we would need to have a confirmation for that.
Of
So
course.
there is so we
Reality
have a
of
bit of a we're a bit hesitant
Yeah.
to work in Turkey because of that.
Which is
Because-
understandable.
Yeah, you could let's say work on Turkey for quite a while and then have spent like hundreds and hundreds, maybe thousands of hours in it, and then it turns out that SCS comes for the DLC and all your work is for nothing.
Yeah.
I mean, that happens. We have already this happens already so many times. So, but when we know when SCS is working on something, then we don't work that much on it. So, for instance, in this case with Nordic Horizons, we don't really work on that now because SCS is already doing that. And then we can actually put our workforce somewhere else. Something that will be staying there for a longer time.
This is, of course, a very good point to raise. And I think this links well with one of the other questions we got sent in on Discord. Is, out of the ProMods cities that we have, which ones do you want to see? Which ones do you think should be in SCS game that isn't?
I would say Antwerp, but not in its current form. Because in its
Yeah.
current form, it's really old.
Are you being
But,
biased there?
Yeah, but the thing is, Antwerp in the game as it is now, and is is already quite a few years. It's like 7 or 8 years, maybe even 9 years old, and it shows. But Antwerp is the second largest port in Europe, so it's pretty weird that it's actually missing.
And let's keep that question going through the rest of you guys. Let's go for Pim.
Oh, yeah. I actually wouldn't know a better answer to that than Antwerp.
Hey,
Yeah,
should
maybe
we do
like
this?
Nijmegen in the Netherlands, maybe? Oh, no, I meant Eindhoven. Because it has the Death Factory. But
Ah, yeah, that also makes
yeah,
sense.
I wouldn't know. Yeah.
Although, as we we do know Eindhoven is coming to SES.
Yeah. Yeah.
Let's
Which,
keep this
just so
going.
I'm on the same track here, we're going to make a loop at the Marneuli area, a Kiksui or what?
Yeah, don't see why not.
I think that's what we're gonna do.
Just don't get me to lead, because I don't know where I'm going.
Sorry, Richie. I don't know if you're able to, but would it be possible to like just stream your game here? Just because I'm on mobile, so I'm not really able to check.
To stream
know,
it to
the ga-
Discord,
this-
I can. Let me stop
Yeah,
with
if
these
that's possible.
strokes.
If it's not there, no problem.
But
Very easy to do. No, that's for you.
Oh. No,
and,
thanks.
I think we could also maybe change the time back to morning again because it's slowly getting dark.
I keep crashing all the time. It's my connection.
but
Driving.
Ooh, going over a very interesting part now.
That's a bridge under construction, like 1 lane.
I have not driven this extension at all since we released. I've been saving for the stream, so all of this is brand new to me.
Yeah, new still. It's recent. But after that bridge and other stuff, that's where the new stuff like begins.
Yeah, it should be literally after this.
It's so big. It has to
companies.
be divided into 2 parts. Yeah. Because I think I'm not sure. I don't really know why the city wasn't completed in one go. Because I'm a kind of new member of the team, but
Yeah.
I would assume that it's quite big to be done in one release. To be released in one part.
It was done rather quickly in the first stage, but like you said, yeah, the second stage was a lot of people worked on it.
Yeah.
Mainly me,
Makes sense.
Kiksui, and Emery.
yeah, I think we've now just hit the new area of the. That's,
Yeah,
Yeah,
this
like
is
right,
after,
right here.
after the Sand Builders, it's where it starts.
Right here.
The new ship.
yeah, during the beta test, we actually had to put some signs like that you're entering WIP area because there was part of it were not finished. As testing was starting.
It was a very chaotic thing. I really just wanted to get this thing over with.
All of what we see now is complete brand new.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yes.
I will be changing the hour soon, but not yet. Still having a bit of a golden hour.
Yeah, it's very nice scenery and a nice
It's
real
very,
sunlight.
very
That
nice
is nice.
behind us. It goes really well with this
If we
scenery.
want to do that loop through Marnelli, we should go straight at the next intersection and not turn to the left.
Yeah. Do you know how to do that, Pim?
Yeah, I think we've done it before. Oh.
Yeah,
I
we
don't know
did.
what- I don't know what happened.
Pim's
It's just
going
got
for a
into, like,
jump.
message question. I don't know what happened.
I think there's no better
Yeah,
feeling
so it's
than
at the
driving
clover
in
leaf,
the
then
area that you
turn
map.
straight, right?
Yeah, and you don't get to look at it as a player much, so because I keep remembering in my head like all the testing that I did, but it's fun to actually just sit down and drive.
But
one.
the fun thing about these areas, also Kazakhstan, is let's say it's a bit more gritty, more dirty. It's less than perfect, just by the very nature of it, and that gives a kind of a mood.
Yeah.
And it gives a unique atmosphere, and which you can't really find, let's say, in the rest of the map.
Yeah, it's different.
It's certainly a new experience for the player.
You gotta be there to feel it.
And what's funny is like if when you go for a drive and you realize that an area which you focused on too much for like maybe 3 days detailing it to the every single tiny detail, and then when you drive by this place, you drive by it in like maybe a second and a half, so you don't even pay attention to a quarter of the detail that you put so much effort on. So
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's very recognizable. Yeah.
Yes, but like if we slow down a little bit, we could maybe like enjoy it for more than just 1.5 seconds. I mean, I think still we are going pretty fast, to be honest.
Yeah, we're
We can slow down a bit. Yeah, we'll slow down a bit.
maybe 20 kilometers an hour is
Yep.
good. Maybe
20 kilometers? No.
But how is like 50 for here this part?
Let's go 50. Yeah.
Pim, do you want me to go up front?
Yeah, sure. Like you probably know this way better.
I mean,
he's struggling.
We have lots of questions.
let me
of
break
this.
every single Georgian traffic law here to
Yeah.
get to your
Yeah, I'll
where
just
you are.
slow down to like 30 so you can like overtake.
Sorry,
We have
Mr.
some
Soviet car.
very important questions from the
There's
people
a lot
watching.
ahead of
It
coming.
is no mapping questions for this. It's just one that we didn't answer at the start. How are we?
Pretty great.
So what are we doing
Anyway.
today?
Yeah.
It's quite great. I've cycled 65 kilometers early today. So, and I'm actually winding down. So, I mean, what was good weather for it?
Of course. Oh, we have Tedesco overtaking us.
Yeah,
Yes,
it's breaking every
fine,
single
there's no
Georgian traffic law.
coming.
First
Ooh.
ProMods driver to crash, yes?
Yes.
No,
But,
yeah. I had to be reckless just to get to. Okay, no, it's fine. As long as I don't crash again.
But yeah, I do. I cycle a lot. You also go commute to my work also by bike, and what is kind of funny is that with the latest mapping of SCS, they are actually implementing more cycling infrastructure in the newer cities. So I've seen this in Switzerland and in the newer cities in Germany, and they just have to implement it in the Netherlands when they are going to do that.
Do you
Actually,
think
yeah,
maybe
of
we will
course.
get Euro Bike Simulator?
Yeah.
Oh God, please no. Just really.
I'm
Just-
sorry for going so slowly, but my track just doesn't want to like accelerate
Oh.
for some reason.
Like-
Well, you're in luck because we're kind of stuck behind AI doing weird
Yes.
stuff. So.
Pim, you know your way
very
around this
realistic
place,
here.
man.
Yeah, well, where do we want to go?
Marniuli, just
Marniuli,
make
oh, that
a
loop.
U-turn in
and then
Marniuli,
to- and
and then go back the way you came, and then go to Azerbaijan.
Actually,
Yeah,
we
I
are
think
Or we
approaching.
could go. Or we could make like the loop through Rustavi as well back.
No, because it's out of the way. Just take the
Okay.
exit. I fucking because I crashed again.
Oh, we're just gonna do a loop on the roundabout here.
Sorry, man. Oh my God, what's happening here?
Oh no, I broke the rules.
We ran one red light.
Okay, what I noticed is that I gotta stay way the hell back because otherwise I crash. It's probably my internet.
Should we set the time back to daytime?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Someone-
Should I make Ted, should I
Someone
do like
has-
a 180 here on this roundabout?
Yeah, go on the upper road.
Time
Oh,
will
the
set
upper
in
road.
3,
Okay.
2,
Go on the upper
1.
road. Go to Marniuli.
Oh,
and then-
no, the
My
flashback!
God! That was so brave!
Jesus. Grinded by
There's
the-
like a car like sunken in the road here.
Oh,
That's,
what is going on?
And the AI in the conflict mode is.
Oh my God!
That's just these things shenanigan.
Yeah.
10 out of 10.
AI
please
conflict
come.
mode is a bit.
Why is there a police car drowning in asphalt?
Yeah, don't question it.
That was the best way to describe it. Why is there a police car drowning in the asphalt?
He drove through
No
a
idea.
construction
I
zone.
mean,
I mean, like this intersection that we've just passed through. I mean, that's crazy one. I know. When I
Yeah.
was making it, I was looking at the street view and I was like, "What the fuck is even this?"
Oh,
Guys, I keep crashing. It's
I
probably
think
best
Georgia
for-
has some of the most confusing intersections. They just do them for fun.
It's just budget.
I think we will see a
I
lot of
literally
that
can't
in,
imagine those
in
intersections
this.
anywhere else.
I
as a
don't
civil engineer, this hurts.
Yeah.
Which-
It's good to have this improvements because it's introduces you to a world that's outside of European, infrastructure.
Oh, well, even within Europe, we have some really crazy stuff.
No,
May I remind you of the whole thing in Exeter?
God,
No,
no.
but-
The major
Oh, yeah,
interchange?
The magic
Please tell
roundabout.
me. Please point out any
Okay.
location that has anything similar to that intersection we went through behind.
Again, have you seen Exeter?
No. But I'm pretty sure it's well like painted or something. Far from.
Yeah, it's paid, but it has traffic lights everywhere. Everything's crossing each other, and the whole confusing layout.
Yes.
The one in Bucharest is also
Oh yeah, that's also.
an honorable mention.
Maybe something in Paris?
Yeah, Paris
art
isn't
itself?
really
Oh yeah,
that
the new
good.
Paris is
I
like
do
crazy
recall
roundabout.
something there. I don't know. Ah,
What
yeah,
was
yeah,
the plan here again? Like we're gonna do a.
Just
Turn
go
around
around the
to-
roundabout and come back this way.
Oh, okay.
We get to visit
Oh, yeah.
the
Yeah.
sunken police car again.
Yeah,
Another one.
Oh yeah, speaking of weird intersections, this one.
yeah. This is
Beautiful.
definitely not something you see in Exeter.
We do have some question. This question has been asked now both on Twitch and was on our Discord. There is a lot of demand for
Apparently I
No!
don't know why the play there. I don't know.
There is a lot of demand for advancements within Ukraine and Poland. Is there anything that we can tell on this as I get crashed into from behind?
So.
Sorry for that.
So on the Ukraine part, we still have someone working on that. I think G-Race.
Mhm.
So that he's also Ukrainian, but it's not really going that fast. But there is something going there. As
Yeah,
for
there's
Poland,
active development there. Poland.
we have actually no active developers there except for the Poznan project that actually Skander's working on. But Poznan is a bit of a cursed project. I think it's already reaching its 8th anniversary or something.
Oh,
Oh my god.
That long? Okay.
Yeah.
But about Ukraine, it was like also this project by Murphy. Can we talk about that or not?
Oh yeah.
course
There's
we
also
can.
I forgot that's
Yeah.
the southern corridor to Odessa from
Yeah,
Moldova.
that's big.
Yeah.
It's in very active development.
Yeah, that's also an active development.
that should be seen in the next couple of updates, I think.
I'm going way too fast.
Most
Yeah.
likely, yeah.
Touching on that, we've also had someone ask, more to south of this, Slovakia, what's the kind of work
Oh.
looking like around here?
Slovakia?
Yeah.
Nothing.
Well, I think nothing is going on here. I know,
Yeah.
like probably the last addition to Slovakia was made by me some like 3 years ago, and or maybe even 4 when I added Zvolen near Banská Bystrica. But ever since then, nothing was added there. Oh yes, but sorry, also that one little city in eastern Slovakia, Michalovce, if I'm correct. But that's
Yeah,
pretty much everything, and since then, nothing really happened there.
And there was a part of whip content that split into 2.73 that shouldn't have been there. That was a bit of an oopsie,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
but that has been like that for 5 or 6 years. So don't expect anything like that soon.
Not quite yet.
And I think it's also kind of the same matter with Norway, because since SCS is like working in full swing to rework the base map, they're now working on the Benelux. They reworked Switzerland, Austria, so we could assume. I mean, we don't really want to take the risk of
Oh god, where am I
already
supposed to be
starting
going?
to
How-
work on. I don't
Pim,
know.
that's the wrong way
maybe-
around the roundabout.
Yeah, that's.
Wait,
That's
how,
not-
how are we supposed to take this roundabout?
How are you doing this?
Oh god, I'm confused.
Well,
Sorry about that.
you're not paying attention to the signage. I mean, there's actually a diagram on one of the signs which tells you how you should go about this roundabout.
I missed that.
This roundabout is so stupid.
He thought it was extra.
That's a
Oh,
car,
no.
Randall!
But he just drove into me. He just turned into me.
Yeah, AI is really struggling here, is it?
Yeah.
That golf just turned into me. Where's the polo?
We have.
And this green.
Just
you
take
get-
the illegal route. Oh no, I also crashed into something.
Okay,
Why
so
is
that's the only one.
reversing so much? That blue car.
It's probably because we're in convoy mode. It's like
Yeah.
I
coordinating all those stuff for the game is simply impossible in convoy mode.
I see in cover mode
Eight-
that the AI is actually making more mistakes. So it just saw that another car was bumping into that blue car. Just straight into it.
As if we couldn't make more mistakes, the AI have plenty.
Like, on the other hand, when was the last time you had this much fun with an intersection?
Literally never.
Exactly.
We have questions here. I don't think anyone here can answer this, but a lot of people have been asking
Oh shit.
on updates on Canada.
Ooh.
I mean,
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's still going slowly because we basically have only. I think now there are 2 or 3 people working on it, but on different areas. So I think Briggs at Home is already shown it. He's working in Calgary. So
Yes.
so we're heading into Alberta now. And Sam is working on Vancouver Island. So and
And also Adrian is working somewhere, right?
yeah, I'm not sure if he's active right now because he's also been traveling for work for quite a.
I think Pim crashed
but-
into a sign, a pole.
Yeah, I might have crashed into something.
you've encountered the Georgian column barriers. You're the strongest barriers in the world.
Yeah, they were quite strong. Yeah.
More importantly to answer that, how do you know?
And I know what.
How do you know those barriers are so strong? What did you need?
Ah,
What
I've,
mistake
I've
did you
crashed
make?
into them a few times, you know. I've had many violent encounters with them. Not by choice. By chance.
We have, this is actually quite good whilst we're talking about map expansions, obviously soon we'll be in the Great Steppe. As SCS are reworking, a lot of their concentration is on Europe still. What is the broader picture looking like? Obviously we have Maghreb, we have Canada, we have the Great Steppe in the Middle East. Do we have any further plans to expand out of the continent more?
At the moment, no, because we have already been spread quite thin, and we will be happy if we can actually, for instance, expand the Great Steppe, or if we can get someone on the Middle East again, because in the Middle East is now a bit of a forgotten child, and what is really working there.
The continental expansion that we are doing is mostly Maghreb, Great Steppe. But like I said in the previous questions, it's the focus of Great Step is the reworks first. There's still a lot to do.
I
But
think
I'm
Gonna
pretty
go
sure
for
that
repairs here,
we
everybody
have
that's
like
real good about that, yeah.
pretty sure that we reworked. I think it's safe to say that almost half of the map is reworked.
Are we turning left or continuing?
he
No,
is
it-
repairing
just-
his
just
truck.
go
He
continue
crashed.
straight. I need to repair my truck. I'll
Yeah,
join in.
like I said,
and
Georgian
so do
Okay,
I.
I
barriers
will
are the best of
just
these.
go a bit ahead and actually fill up my truck.
Yes, we need.
Oh,
Oh,
you
yes.
mean
Yeah.
the,
Almost done.
Oh,
gas
nice.
stations near
Yeah, I
every
need to do that
the
as well.
amazing gas station
An
that they have there.
amazingly interesting
This is a
petrol
cool gas
station.
station. it's
Doesn't
not
make
bad.
any sense.
Yeah,
This
that's
is
definitely
supposed
very
to
unique.
represent a creature from
Wait.
the Mesozoic era, or I don't know.
I remember the
Hey,
day
this
that I
is-
saw that. I was like, God damn it! I have to model this weird looking shit, and I did it
Yeah,
because I knew it. It would be. I knew that people would like be like, oh, this is a gas station. Like, but please answer me. I'm gonna make a question of my own. What makes someone wake up one day and think about that design choice for a pump?
Good question.
Please.
Maybe study a
It's
bit of
just all
maybe if you study a
concrete.
bit of history about the region, you're gonna find out.
Like what?
Well, I think the reason might be so that one day it ends up in ProMods.
Probably.
I think that is fitting to this question. What is the most complicated city or area or thing that you have made? Maybe this is one of them for you.
Oh, I have a really good story for that actually. There's a place in Georgia that we passed, by the way, the one that has like a construction from a highway. We go through
The
a mountain
tunnel
road.
construction,
Yeah,
right?
that tunnel, exactly. I have a very funny story about that. Funny now because back then it was not funny. I had to make that place 3 times, not because I fucked something up, not because I missed anything. No, it's because Georgia messed up. How did they mess up? They're building a section of a highway there, and the first time that I made it, they didn't have much going on there. And then okay, I mapped it. I made it look exactly like how it was, like hours of research, just so they could. The construction collapsed.
Oh
In real
no.
life, construction collapsed. So since I wanted it to be real, like very close to the real one. I said, okay, let's plan this again. And I went there, did it again, and guess what happened? A few months later, the construction
David's
collapsed again.
Oh, what?
Collapsed
Oh,
again.
the current state that it's in now. The third time that I made this crap, it's like an aftermath of a collapsed construction. That's why it's so muddy. And yeah, but at least they didn't collapse it a third time. So that was a very complicated area to make. Not because it was complicated, but because of Georgian shenanigans.
yeah.
You can blame Georgia for that.
Let's keep this question going throughout all of you because I feel like so many people have so many different stories here. Let's go for Mandel. What was your favorite or most complicated place that you've made?
It's not really in world that is promoted more for SCS, and that is Lyon is quite a complex place to make. Because I did the whole thing from the ground up, and there was not much space for it, so there's quite a lot of overlapping scenery. I had to work with the visibility areas, cut planes, and all that sort of stuff. But yeah, part of Lyon is still the part of the city center is still part of the old scenery because that was actually looking really nice. But so there's still part of old Lyon in there, even though there are some asset swaps in there. But yeah.
Let's keep this going throughout the rest of yous. Pim, what was your most complicated?
It would have been like it's not actually released that, but the most complicated thing that I've made is Gibraltar by far.
Yes. Yes.
That makes sense.
The amount of weird intersections that place has, and how like narrow everything is, and the fact that it's like British, but it's like right-hand drive
Yeah.
instead of left-hand drive.
It's so
Mixed
weird.
with like a whole bunch of Spanish buildings. It's a weird, complicated place, but I enjoy making it.
He's doing most of the work, but I'm working with him in Gibraltar. But the thing that we noticed is that
I think your mic cut out then.
I guess.
Ted, we cannot hear you. Oh.
Ted, we cannot hear you. We've lost Ted.
And
Is he still
I'll
driving?
let you go first, then.
sorry, I got interrupted by my girlfriend. Nice.
Oh.
I just have a
Wait,
skill
so-
issue.
Where was it? No. None of that. Just she has a skill issue actually for not understanding
wow.
what 3 hours mean.
Yeah, but I had skill issue. I'm not complete going through the roundabout first, even without the trailer.
We're still not the only one who messed up a roundabout today, so it makes me feel a little bit better.
The thing I was gonna say about Gibraltar, it's like a weird collab between Spain and the UK, and they
Yeah.
made that a country. So imagine this Spanish-looking place with UK markings and signs, but it's, right-hand drive.
Yeah.
It's not. It's weird.
Have
Yeah,
you,
like
Going
every
into
part of
real
it is
estate.
like really complicated as well. Like all these driveways and randomized buildings everywhere.
this is probably the
It's
biggest
a
thing
difficult
that I
place
think
to make.
most people will be very excited for of Gibraltar. Can you drive on the airport in-game like you can in real life?
The mini airport crossing?
Yes.
Yeah, I'm gonna make that one. Definitely. Yeah, that was too cool
Will,
not to
will
do
there
that.
be planes stopping you?
There's not really. I don't think there's actually a way in the game to do that that I
No.
know of. So can't really do that, unfortunately. Can't actually like make like a crossing with planes at the moment. So that's kind of a shame. But yeah.
But you still can
But
drive
actually,
on it.
these days the airport crossing is no longer a thing anymore because they made like a bypass tunnel underneath the
Yes.
airport.
I don't think
But
it's used anymore.
I'm still gonna make it as like a secret road thingy. It's like too cool not to have.
Regarding the crossing, like, wouldn't it be possible to just like place some sort of like invisible railway there and then assign plane as a train model to Gibraltar? Wouldn't that work?
Maybe. I actually never. Yeah, I wouldn't know that actually.
Maybe we could make a plain AI, but
Yeah.
I'm not sure if that will work.
Yeah, but it also needs to like take off at some point, so that will be look kind of weird, I think.
going into sky.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's going to be a challenge at least.
Yeah.
If we can actually do that. If it's not working, then too bad. But
Yeah.
we can try to experiment with it.
Yeah. But at the very least, you will be able to cross the runway.
Yeah.
So you get that at least.
We get the authentic experience. Going through one of the new areas now. Very detailed section.
Oh yeah.
I worked on that.
I did miss the city name when it popped up.
It's a lot.
No, Tel Aviv.
Tel Aviv.
Mariupol is the other one.
That'll be.
So every single city in Georgia ends with I.
If you have a force feedback enabled wheel,
Actually, yes.
take your time going through this area.
Oh, 'cause of them-
Oh yeah, yeah.
These roundabouts are very interesting. It's not less seen in Europe that you give way to the people joining the roundabout.
It's leftovers from Russia.
Yeah. And as a civil engineer, this hurts.
Yeah.
Because these roundabouts, the main flaw of these roundabouts is that with a normal roundabout where you have give way to the traffic on the roundabout, it will always empty itself.
Yeah.
But in this case, this roundabout can actually get itself stuck, because then you get into a site where everything is waiting for everyone else. Nope.
So it kind of defeats the whole purpose of making a roundabout, basically.
They've made roundabouts that do not work as roundabouts.
Yeah, kind of.
But it's fun to drive on.
It's interesting. Do the AI actually listen to the giveaway rules on them roundabouts?
They sure do that.
Sometimes
But,
they feel like they don't listen to their own brains.
Yeah, but we do know about the AI in this game, so you never know.
But AI is making mistakes right now, so
I mean, they drive inside of the tarmac sometimes.
I saw just one slip out. like I'm
Fully
doing a bit
started
of drift out of the roundabout. I've never seen the AI do that.
Something new every day.
We have a very interesting question here from Niorba in Discord. Obviously, we've just had SCS release Greeks. What are our plans for Greece? Are we planning on adding any additional islands or reworking any particular areas?
So far, we have only done some minor stuff in there. One thing that we want to do, but currently technically can't do, is open the border to Bulgaria. The problem for that is that for that you need to remove those trigger icons. Now, these trigger icons are part of the model, and this model uses some new fancy shaders, and these are not supported by Blender. So if you import this model in Blender, all the textures show blank, and this is not a good thing. So we can't really edit those models because we can't load the shaders, and the shaders can also not be converted with the conversion tools.
I can see how this is a problem.
Yeah, we pretty much shit out of luck.
Would we ever be able to fix this? Wow. Azerbaijani border, good luck. What?
Oh yeah, they
Yeah.
The further east you go, the more interesting things get.
It sounds more like a threat than welcoming.
Yeah, it's good luck. What?
Oh, we also,
What's going to happen to me?
like I said, there was also this sign in the Great Step that said like the dangerous section.
Oh yeah, there's a bunch of signs because they speak a lot of good English there, So you have signs that like instead of saying like dangerous descent, it says the dangerous section or the deepest cavity.
We are now entering the... We've teased this a lot in our screenshots. Azerbaijani border crossing. Should be interesting to ask about
These
this
kind
area.
of models are...
We
yeah,
had someone...
models...
What about this area?
Go on.
Yeah, I just like I made a remark on the models that I suppose they won't easily make.
Oh no. They were kinda. No, but since I wanted to make this place like quickly, I managed to make this place in 3 days.
Well, it's not.
A lot of modeling and mapping involved.
How many developers worked on this area? Is a question that's come through.
Why is it?
On the whole new area that we drive through now, how many developers was responsible for this?
Lots.
Let's see. Me, Kixui, Kim, Emery, Horizon, even Starper. So like 7 or 8 people. A lot of people.
Would you say that this is average, the amount of people that take to build new places every time?
No,
No.
definitely not. Definitely not. We have max 2 people working on the same area, like Nuke and Gibraltar. But
Well, actually, if like a lot of people are working at the same place, it gets very complicated because like the map is divided into some chunks called sectors, and only one person can edit one sector at a time. And when you have more people that want to work in the same place, this makes it really complicated.
That's actually
Yeah,
quite a
sector
good
is
thing. That's quite a good thing to mention, though, as we did have someone come in from Forest. If SCS was to ask you what can we do to improve our map tools, would you say that making... I can't imagine this would be very easy, but making more people being able to use the editor at once, like a convoy mode, but the editor, in some kind of sense, would that be ideal?
That would be very confusing.
Yeah, but it would be
yeah.
ideal in other ways, like maybe if they had like reduced sectors like sizes, maybe that would, you know, allow people to work on sub areas, you know, in like in the same quote sector. That would help.
Actually, STS does that internally work with smaller sectors, but I'm not sure if this works for the public version. So.
Oh.
But yeah, in the public version, so the one that we all have access to, a sector is about 4 kilometers by 4 kilometers. Now, SES seems to have a way internally to divide up in 1 by 1 kilometer. So much smaller. But so for the same reason that they can work with more people on these areas, but how they did that and if we can actually do that, that's still a question.
We
Nice
have
scout.
from Wolf Ram. They come in, they say, hello, is there any plans or possibility to add Pilsen to the game, which is in the western area of the Czech Republic?
Actually,
Well, actually, I started working on Pilsen, or as we call it in Czech, Plzeň, some 2 years ago. But then I had some personal stuff to do and I didn't have much time for mapping, so the project is kinda in the limbo right now. But I would like to come back to it and finish it, because like I've already done quite a lot of work on it, and it would be shame if it went to the waste. But I'm not like, I don't want to promise anything, because it's like it's a big project that will need a lot of time and a lot of work, and I just can't like predict how long it will take me
we're
to
taking
actually
that, I
finish
think.
it.
Richie, where are you going?
You go first, Richie.
He's just
So yeah, that's
admiring,
about
Just
That's
he's just
admiring the
about
admiring
way.
the monument. The Needles roundabout.
I take the complete wrong exit.
no, he's just like taking a look around.
I'm taking in the scenery.
Yeah, but speaking of which, you see quite a lot of these monumental things like those arches that we've seen a few times, or there was this monument on the roundabout for the place name.
Zakatala.
I think Ted modeled a lot of these.
Yeah, I modeled 35 models for Azerbaijan.
Yeah.
Something
Yeah,
around
we
that.
also, for me personally, I had to change the models of the road so that we have these yellow lights out on the outside.
Yeah, they have yellow parking lines everywhere.
They stand out, they are very
It's
easy
cool.
to see though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The highways work the same.
Are there
So,
any plans in future for ProMods to work on some of the already not touched highways in Central and Eastern Europe?
Currently there are no concrete plans for that. Still got our hands quite full. And there are some areas that we wanted to work, but it didn't go as planned. One notorious example is Subcarpathia in Poland. So that's the southeastern area near Ukraine, near Rzeszów. I've started work once, but I kept on being demotivated every time. But it would be really nice if we have that, but nobody's working on that, and that's a bit of the problem.
I imagine the, should we say, shortage of developers for some areas makes working on some things harder. But then we can bring this back to how we work with some other map mods every now and then. Like we've adopted Magreb. Would we be looking to, or is there anything I would know, would we have any talks already with other mapping to maybe expand on that? Maybe further into Asia?
Currently, we have only maybe some individual mappers that we may want to work with, but not entire teams are on our radar. There are a
Magreb
few
wasn't
teams.
exciting.
There are a few teams that are actually we actually don't want to work with because they have been hostile to us in the past.
Yeah.
But anything we want to work with? No, there's nothing on our radar.
Should we also brush mention? I don't believe he is here. Is the developer that's currently working on Ukraine here?
He's in the chat.
Yeah,
He's in the chat. Oh, lovely. We have just had someone ask, "Is there plans to build Kyiv?" And he has responded, "Yes." Over on YouTube.
I made sure to make it sound like yes, it will be built.
Yes, it
So there you
will.
go.
100%.
Like, what are you talking about? Of course it will be built.
This is a question for him as well. How much of Ukraine does he intend to build? Obviously, will it go all the way to the borders or only to Kyiv? Obviously, that's something that he can have time to respond to because there's a bit of delay with the streams. This is quite a nice question for you guys.
He said
We
as
met-
much as possible.
As much as possible. This is very
Enticing.
a very lovely question from someone on Discord. They if you could ask for one favor from SCS to make your life modding easier, what would it be?
I think at the moment that it stops crashing with some memory
Yeah.
issues.
Yeah,
It's
I've
having
seen
memory
this.
The second thing is,
The issue is not to add.
yeah,
Yeah, because since this patch we have been facing quite a big problem that somehow there seems to be a memory leak, fills up the memory and then just makes the entire computer crash.
Oh,
This
fun.
only happens to people people in the team that have lower RAM, lower than 32 gigabytes, which is already setting the
That's already a lot.
limit where it's not usually quite high. So it's becoming a bit of a problem, and before we didn't have that issue. And so that is the most immediate thing, but I think the question is more related to features.
Yes.
But there is something that we are facing, and since some of us do work for SCS, we have been in contact with SCS, but I think even they are a bit scratching their heads what's actually happening over there. So I hope we get this resolved.
I
I would
imagine
really like to
hopefully very
see
soon.
more frequent updates on the Blender tools. I use that.
Oh yes, that's something that it's also
And
what we
your
want.
shaders that are not working fine with,
Yeah, they keep on adding new shaders, but they don't update the Blender tools then.
Yeah.
So that with the newer models, I think starting already from the Western Balkans DLC, we can't edit some of these models because the shaders are not supported.
I mean, I mostly use Substance Painter for texturing, but things like the panoramic, interiors, that
Oh,
sort
the
of thing.
parallax interiors.
Yeah, that
Yeah, the parallax interior, so they are not supported.
doesn't work.
Yeah.
You have to use the old ones.
So that's something you will not be seeing from us in a while because
They don't update.
they're not updated. The conversion tools will just refuse to convert.
Ah, hello, Nico has joined.
Hello.
You're a
Hi.
little bit quiet, Nico.
Am I a little bit quiet?
Yeah.
A little bit.
Is it still bad, or should I change? Should I change?
Fine for me.
I
It's
think
getting
that's
better.
fine. It's getting better. The more you talk, the better it is.
Oh no, I'm not driving.
Oh, this is perfect.
G
now.
race.
Yeah, I'm also not
Alright.
driving.
I guess my mic just had to boot up.
Don't let Nico
Okay.
drive, please. Do we want to
Yeah,
know
I'll
what
slow down.
happens?
Don't worry, I'm not driving. I only wanted to listen in now that I'm back from walking the dog.
Well, whilst you are
So,
here on the
keep-
stream, we might as well
Yes.
catch you and ask, who are you and what do you do for ProMods?
All right. Well, I'm Nico, and I'm a developer for ProMods since 12.5 years, I guess it's now.
And you were one of the founders, so you were there from the beginning.
Real promo.
I got called out. Yeah, exactly. So yeah, 12.5 years ago, me and Skull decided together to build a Scandinavia mod, and well, that kind of escalated, I guess. Well, and then back then I built the whole Scandinavia, a large portion of Scandinavia, but these days I certainly no longer have the time to do that kind of work anymore. So well, what do I do nowadays? Oh, actually, I'm probably the one that's coordinating Canada and sometimes working a bit. But I guess you guys already discussed about the lack of pace of Canada and how I'm also not really contributing to increase the pace. But it's what it is. And well, what more do I try to? I try to help the people out and keep things running together with Skull. Provide a platform for talented people to come together. Let's say it like that.
Should we ask, obviously you was one of the very first people here, so you have a lot of knowledge about ProMods Classic. Out of that whole thing that you've released and of all of the updates that ProMods has ever had, have you ever had a favorite place?
I mean, I can still remember the excitement when we started to expand from like a 2-person army to like a 3-person or 4-person, and that we started to venture into new areas. So we had well, only the OGs probably will know him. We had somebody called Kuchek, and he built a lot of France back in the day. And I still remember how he built like the Le Mont Saint Michel, which is like a big castle on the rocks, or what should I call it? The monastery, I guess it is.
Yeah.
And that was like the first time that somebody built. Well, how should I describe it? Using all kinds of assets to create a very new thing together, and that's one of the things I could distinctly remember. Like that was the point where I was like, okay, there are so many people out there who can do stuff so much better than I can do, or Skull can do, or whatever. This might be actually something worth pursuing. See if we can grow it, etc. And I guess for me that was the first time to realize how it's growing. So I guess to me that sort of is a favorite place in a regard that looking back at it, it was the time where things started, if you could say it that way. And then of course, yeah, we had so many areas built that these days no longer survive anymore because of updates from SCS. We of
But
course,
ironically,
yeah, go ahead.
ironically, Le Mont Saint Michel is not one of them. It's still there.
Yeah,
You still have
exactly. That's. I mean, I think it had like 3 iterations right now, something like that.
Yeah, it has been partly rebuilt, but it's still there. You still have it.
Yeah, exactly. That was well, that's actually quite unique because, well, yeah, Yeah. Because I think most of the stuff, I think there's almost nothing there anymore from like version 1. I mean, some of the ideas are still there, like I think it wasn't a version 1, but we of course started with the demo track of at the Scania Center in Södertälje in Sweden, and then we made the second iteration, or I think it was mostly Bricks that made the second iteration. We then also started a partnership with Truckers MP and had that funny video where we were racing each other on the Scania demo center. And I mean, nowadays SCS is building all these demo centers all over their maps. It's quite funny to see how that idea that we had once long ago is snowballing into the normal product as well. It's those are quite fun memories to think back about, I guess.
It's
Yeah, even
really,
sometimes you end up.
it's
Sometimes you
really
end up
interesting.
with
Yeah, sorry,
rebuilding in the
please
same
go.
place multiple times.
Yeah, for sure. Yep. It's something you always want to try to avoid, building the same place multiple times, but yeah, it happens. It happens, exactly. I think Richie also wanted to say something.
So it's
Go ahead.
interesting to hear how the story of ProMods has come from developing this first bits and going into loads of favorite places and just changing entirely. But I think this is probably a lesser known thing about ProMods, and I don't know if you remember this from all those time ago. What city did it start with?
Oh, I think we started with Flensburg.
And has it changed much since then?
Oh man, it's it was
Old Flensburg is done.
old Flensburg was legend. Let's say it like that. No, it was probably one of the first cities I built, and I mean back in the day, the how do you call it, the quality standard was much lower. So my poor attempt was good enough to keep up with the rest, but yeah, if you think back about it, these days with the level that SCS is currently having, also like having, it's something we cannot. Yeah, it's nowadays so hard to start on that level, and well, we were, I guess, lucky that we were able to start at such a low level. But yeah, I think it started with Flensburg. Actually, while answering, I'm looking at our Facebook page because it should be on there. What is like the first one?
I think
But
that's a staple for how old ProMods is that you have to look at Facebook.
But
I mean,
yeah,
go ahead.
it may start with a low level, but at the time we also had less tools and less assets. So there were also less possibilities, and some things were more cumbersome back then.
I mean, there was barely any knowledge of doing things like these days. There is a crazy abundance of information that you can find on the internet on how to do things and how to get things working. And I can still remember that when I started like making maps for the SCS games, that it took me like a few days to figure out how I could save a map and then load it again. It was such a different time. And these days, when I have an issue, I type it into Google, and half of the time I end up in our own forum where somebody else already asked it and somebody else answered it. It's crazy how well, actually, it makes sense that in those 12 years the amount of information has grown so much on the internet that it's pretty easy. It's if you have the motivation to start modding, a lot of people can do it, and that's also how we attract now most of our new people. They learn the skills themselves, and at some point there could be a lot of benefit to join a group of how should I describe us? Awkward nerds with a passion of developing this game. But
we're a very diverse group, though.
oh yeah, we are diverse, but we are like a group of people who like this thing, and the only way, in my opinion, to keep yourself motivated to do these things is if you're with like-minded people who are equally enthusiastic and equally have the same ideas, and we can actually learn stuff from each other, and that makes that's probably why my first modding attempts always didn't go that far, because I did things on my own, and then you make something and then you upload it to what was that? What was the website called before it was mega.co.nz? That was such a shady website. You know those. Oh yes, yeah, those kind of shady websites, right? You uploaded your mod there. I think I still have my Mediafire accounts with mods on there, and then you never touch them again. But that's yeah. Once you join a group, it goes differently.
You had arcade.
Yeah, they were different. Let's call them different times. I mean, it was called I think it was called the Crockett ETS2 map editor manual.
Wow.
I think that was the Bible back then. I said ETS2, but it's ETS map editor manual, because there was of course nothing for it. Yeah, it's the Euro Truck Simulator map editing manual. I just found it on the internet again. It's on scribed.com, and it's a 36-page manual with the editor from the original Euro Truck Simulator game explaining a lot of things. That was basically the only source back then you had to really get yourself going. And the editor itself was, of course, also pretty minimal.
Wasn't this time the only map view or editor view, as you call it, was from the top view? You couldn't like move a camera around.
Oh no, that's so bad.
I remember
No,
I remember you
could...
guys telling me about that.
No. You could move it around, but the whole how do you call once you had free camera, you could not really move your objects around anymore. And I mean, the gizmo, for instance, didn't exist yet. I mean, I don't think that anybody in our team can work without the gizmo anymore.
No. Map sectors didn't even exist back then.
Oh yeah, map sectors didn't exist.
Everything
you
was
had
saved
one.
in the... Everything was saved in an MBD file.
You work without the gizmo.
No.
So basically,
who was
instead
without
of all
the
these
gizmo?
sectors, you had just one big file where everything was saved.
Yep.
So no mod map combos were possible.
I mean, if you think back about it, I mean, SCS of course ran into that issue as well, because like saving everything in one file, that just doesn't work if you want to collaborate with people. But now we have like 30 people working on the same map. Imagine if we all had to coordinate that in one file. That would have been a nightmare.
Yeah, that's what they did in SCS back then. Was basically they all worked on separate maps. And there was one guy that was coordinating that, and there was just combining all that stuff together. Stitching it all together. That's not the way we should work now.
I mean, back then they also only had a few mappers. That's why it was possible. But I think these days SCS is like 200, 300 employees. I mean, it's so different. Different times, and I mean it's the same like when we were with 3-4 people, we could use Dropbox to share our files, but once you grow into size, Dropbox is just not the way to share files and to organize things. So then you have to be a little bit more professional. So I mean, I think some people underestimate. It's not just about making a map; it's also about providing a whole infrastructure around it. Like you have, of course, the front-facing infrastructure with the website and the forum, which is of course great for attracting people to your work. But then behind the scenes, we have all kinds of systems for tracking bugs. We have systems for. Well, we used to have systems for organizing certain files with the traffic signs. Then we have, of course, the file management systems and whatnot. There's a whole customer service system. You know, I mean, all those kinds of infrastructure that is behind organizing a team. I mean, nothing as professional as a real company would do, but if you don't have those systems in place, yeah, it's so hard to work. Right?
Even some marketing, graphic design, which which were one guy named Hans de Trucker actually did quite a lot of work for that. He was there one day, made it, and then it disappeared just as quickly as it came.
Yeah, I've no. I mean, Hans the Trucker, if you're listening to this live stream, reach out, man. I mean, the amount of things you set in motion with your, I think it was a few weeks that you were alive in the team and then you disappeared. It's it's quite funny to see. And also in that regard, I mean, why do people disappear? Is always. I mean, I guess
that's how he. Okay,
yeah.
I thought it was like, oh, he left the server.
Yeah, I mean, I think he. I mean, without saying much, he just left us, and then we were like, oh, where did he go? And that's it. I mean, it's yeah. And sometimes people come back.
No,
Look.
I got
Oh, no.
disconnected.
Yeah, me too.
Everybody.
Oh,
That's because I crashed.
Oh. Oh.
I was afraid this would happen.
Don't tell me.
hold on. There's a screen
No.
for this. Let's put this screen. Put that screen on the live stream. We can fix this.
Didn't you reduce the traffic?
I did reduce traffic precisely for the reason. This city, this has been a pain for us. For we have.
Look, I have no idea what else to do there. I tried everything. I don't know why it crashes still.
Yeah,
if it crashes again, I'm gonna fucking remove every single fucking hook up there. Oh, it looks empty. I don't care. At least you don't crash in the middle of a stream. My God, I want to punch myself in so many different ways.
It's okay.
Yeah, no worries.
Okay.
We can blame Euro Truck Simulator too.
Yeah,
Well,
we
that's
can
why they
blame it.
say that video games make people violent, right? Even Euro Truck Simulator now joined
Yeah,
us.
the map editor makes me.
Map editor definitely makes us violent.
Oh yeah.
Video
Oh,
games
drop
cause
me.
violence.
Especially
Maybe
when
it's
related
better
to
if we skip towards Kurik.
Dude, but like I'm telling you, I drove around this area like 257 times. I didn't have a single crash, and I had buffer size set to 10, and G traffic 1.
It could be that because we are in a convoy,
It could be.
Yeah, there's so many extra TC.
that it loads of multiple people.
You know what? Just skip to
Yeah.
Kazakhstan. I'm gonna cry in a corner here.
I will show Kazakhstan to the stream still.
Yeah, of course you will.
Should we all move to
Yep.
Korek right now?
Yeah, just skip to the
Yeah.
goddamn fucking Kurk. and continue driving from there. Oh my god, man,
We
seriously.
go through the connection into the Great Steppe.
Yeah, this is my arch enemy now. Kurk. A lot.
Is
It's
I
a very
should-
nice place. Probably one
It
of
is a nice
my
place if it
favorite
works.
places right now.
It does work, but it doesn't work with, you know, so
I
many
think,
people driving there,
I
apparently.
think there is a problem here.
No, there is no problem.
Uh,
Just go around them trucks, dude. What would you do in real life? Would you stay there forever? No, just go around, bro. Just go around. It's fine. It's
This
just how you
is-
park trucks in Azerbaijan. It's
whilst
fine.
we was talking to Nico, someone came in and asked, are we planning to release any new versions of ProMods Classic?
That's a tough one because
Yeah, the patches were following up each other so
Yeah.
quickly.
we had other things in mind, and just falling.
We had other priorities. For instance, fixing up Quirix so they're fixing up a lot so that it doesn't crash.
Yeah, I'm gonna pretend that
As
I'm
you
not
can
this.
see, we are still not completely on top of that.
Nothing will be perfect.
I'm gonna remove every single hook up there.
Most technical, like a technically difficult thing to make.
But listen,
ProMods
there's
Classic
nothing
this year.
that would cause that to happen. It just doesn't make any sense. It's probably the amount of cars that this game cannot handle because we were still in 2012 apparently. I thought we were in 2025.
Fortset is having a breakdown.
And now that
I
the
can
big
understand.
time jump, we are now
I'm gonna stop
in
my rant.
the great step after completing the first connection.
It's a huge step.
The huge step. We've completed the huge step.
Very funny.
I probably need to host a convoy again.
Yeah,
Yes.
you do.
Yeah.
Unless we want just Reggie going there to the middle of the desert.
This actually is a good question from me to you. Will you plan to add more connections into the Great Step from ProMods?
I imagine that by you mean me.
Yes.
Okay, just to make sure.
Where?
Connections. More connections to Great Step. Look, I have a lot of plans, and ideal things to do would be to have a road connection. Right now we have a ferry connection. That's already a milestone reached. But yeah,
It's
it
up
would be
again.
nice to have a road connection. But the problem with having road connections is that you have two options. One of them being Russia, and the second one being Iran. Russia has a lot of big cities in that place. And also, you would have to make Baku, which is not an easy job. You want to go that route. So yeah, we do have plans, but if I'm supposed to do that alone, I wouldn't have the motivation to do it. I wouldn't even leave Baku by myself, and I'm slow.
The best case scenario for like another road connection to TGS would be if SCS released Heart of Russia DLC, because then I think even the motivation would be there to create that connection, but we don't know if it's ever gonna happen, so you can't really start doing that because you might create the entire road and then find out that the DLC will never be released. So it is a shame that the DLC like got postponed, maybe even indefinitely due to the war, but we can't do that and we can't do
Yeah,
anything
of course.
about it.
The
And the way
ideal thing to do would be that, because it would be very easy to connect to the DLC.
Yeah, but it also sucks for SCS because they were so close to releasing it.
Yeah.
And then the war breaks out. What the hell?
Yeah, they were planning this together.
The stream does say now be right back, but I'm just joining the convoy mode session that we have.
The convoy, it's up again.
Right.
Okay, also, maybe also this is now a good time to announce. We had that April Fool's thing where we announced the Unreal Company pack.
Yes.
Yes. Now the real joke was that we let you believe that it was fake, but it isn't. It's completely real and mostly functional right now. We are now still trying to set up our website for it, but it should be coming someday. But yeah, so that's for those who have tuned in and don't know what it is. The Unreal Company pack, instead of replacing the SCS companies with real companies, we do the exact opposite. We have our real companies that we have, and we try to replace them with fictional companies to, maybe fit in within the Earth Truck Simulator world. And maybe for some of these we have a bit of lore behind them, but it also was a fun exercise to redesign some logos or even.
Yeah, if you're part of the ProMods communities and Discord servers, you will see some familiar names.
Like
Yeah,
my
so
favorite
please-
clothing brand. Ted E.
Yeah, I also have a clothing brand there. Yeah.
Yeah, so
Okay, but
some
map.
of these are named by team members. Yeah, you have the for instance clothing brands. Yeah, it's Ted E. Bear, but we also have Pim and Joe's.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I think yeah, a lot of
There's also
these.
a car company named after me, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, I think so. And there's also a few other ones. So we have a few car companies that we have renamed. So, for instance, Volkswagen's renamed to Jedes Auto. But a lot of those were gas stations actually that we had to rename. Because we've recently replaced a lot of because I was replacing real brands with fake brands. In some ways, we have actually created new assets for that. But in some ways, we have actually also at the same time implemented real brands on our base map. For instance, with the gas stations, a lot of them. So now, for instance, France now all has a real gas station. Germany has a lot of these gas stations that are real. So, but yeah, there was quite a few that are funny. Now let's see what kind of plans we have.
I think this question kind of links in from DNS in YouTube. Will the Unreal Company pack potentially also add some new road signs to the game?
Not really new road signs, but we had to edit some images on the road signs. For instance, mentioning with these gas stations. For instance, Germany and France, they have to show these logos on the sides. Or also in Italy, and we also have to replace those logos. So a lot of these will be changed. Yeah, there's the one thing that we're still lacking in this mod are advertisements. So a lot of advertisements are still original ones.
Yeah.
But this will be just the first release.
Oh, we have someone that was in the YouTube chat that's just joined.
Yep.
G-Race, Drace.
Yep. Hi there.
If you want to call him by what we have his Discord name as, Vlad.
Oh yeah, Vlad. Would be easier.
So, I
Hello.
imagine you've heard this from the rest of us so far. Who are you and what do you do?
Oh, I have to do this awful introduction thing. I'm one of the ProMods developer, if you didn't know. And I'm famous for slowly mapping Ukraine. Slowly but steadily, right? Sorry. So yeah, basically, mapping Ukraine, slowly moving towards Kiev, doing all that kind of stuff. It takes time, unfortunately, and having personal life and combining it with mapping is a bit difficult. But well, that's what we all do, try to do. Yep. Thank you.
Awesome. Welcome along. I can't imagine we've got any questions for you at the moment because you've answered loads on the stream already.
I'm pretty sure I've answered many of them in YouTube. Sorry, I just woke up like an hour ago because I had birthday party yesterday. And
for
yeah,
yourself
it was
or someone
a
else?
bit late. For myself, apparently.
Oh, happy birthday.
Yeah, I didn't know that. Yeah.
Celebration stream for you.
Yeah, you need to also mention that he lives in Canada, so different time
Oh,
zone.
yeah.
And
Yes, of course.
Yeah, just so you know, I woke up an hour ago, which was basically 2 p.m. here.
Still
It's
late.
very late.
Yeah, you know, the effects of alcohol.
Kind of.
Okay, this question came in a bit earlier on. What is for all of you? But actually, can we start driving now? We've got everyone.
Yeah, yeah.
Lovely. For all of you, this question's very good. What version of ProMods was your favorite?
Ooh. That's a good
2.40.
question.
So not a
Oh, yeah.
city, just straight up version.
The current one. Easy.
For me, it's 2.40
For me,
because it's the first version. For me, of course.
The first
I
version
think
we
the
used.
most.
For me, it would be between 2.50 as a player, of course, because of the content, and 2.70, I would say. These were the versions, the updates where I was the most hyped.
Well, I personally would say that my favorite version would be 2.60 because that's that's when Brno was released, and also in general it was a pretty big update, and we also had a really cool trailer to come with it. So yeah, like that's probably my favorite so far.
A lot of people
I
in
can't
chat are saying
imagine
that their
that it-
favorite's the
that-
current
that-
one as well.
There is one that is maybe has a bit of a mixed feelings for me, and that is 2.0. 2.0, it was a big addition. We also had poetry building that was mixed into it. That turned out to be not the great thing that it was promised to be, because there was quite some issue with cooperation. And with 2.0, we had also a cool trailer. We had a whole sort of dance about it. We announced the release date for that. Big mistake. The 2.0 is the reason why we don't announce release dates.
Yeah.
Because we had it announced, and we had to get ready before the 18th of December. The problem is that it was kind of shoddy, and it was plagued with bugs, and we quickly had to release 2.01. Yeah, it was not good. But still, the hype was real.
And now we know the real meaning to why we do not announce release dates.
Yeah, are you actually sure about that we announced a release date for 2.0? I thought we already learned that from our first version that it wasn't a good idea.
Yeah, but we wanted to build the hype was quick because Christmas was coming and was like, maybe it's a nice time to do that. And that reminds us again why we shouldn't do that.
Yeah. Because for the first version we had exactly the same problem. We said like it will release on the 8th of August at midnight. And then like 3 minutes before midnight the whole server systems crashed because everybody pressed like refresh on the website.
Oh no.
Well, I mean, back then we didn't have any professional infrastructure. We just had a forum running, and for the people who know how the internet works, is that scaling your application is one of the hardest things there is.
Yeah, because back then was just not just only the forum that was running on it, but I think also
everything ran on it. I
everything
mean,
ran
we did that for a very long time. So during release times, our internal systems would be a lot slower because, well, a lot of the resources were being used by the main systems. But when was it? I think it's already almost 10 years ago as well that Skull met somebody else on the internet who was actually a very professional, let's call him an infrastructure guru. I think he works in banking infrastructure or something like that, and he helped set us up in a much more mature system with multiple servers and multiple virtual environments and Linux nodes and whatever. Yeah. And now everything works pretty smooth, I'd say, with every release when it comes to the infrastructure. Now we just need to try to remove bugs, but I mean, releasing such a big product is just always tricky, right?
Yeah.
But for me, 2.0 was also, I think, my favorite version. It's also like the I'd say it's the direction of getting more professional. That version was like it was when we started using the new logo by Hans the Trucker. It's well, almost 10 years later, it didn't change in that time. You know, that kind of stuff is pretty. Yeah, it's pretty nice.
Yeah, it's a pretty solid design.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know. The 2.0, it also sounds as if you go to a new generation, like 2.0. It really carried that weight or that expectation as well. It was apart from some technical issues. It was a really nice release, I'd say. But yeah, it's it didn't go as smooth as planned. It was. I think that was also the period of time where SCS released a lot of updates as well. So
It was the time where SCS also upped their game with Scandinavia DLC.
True, actually. Yeah, exactly. So I mean, it's it's.
What's going on?
I almost caused a collision because my truck was malfunctioning.
Oh no! Oh, that's what happens.
You should crash less, yes? We should go. This question has come in on YouTube. I cannot read his username. It's got loads of numbers and letters. He's wondering if the A26 highway in France will be extended.
We need Sam to answer that.
I mean,
Yeah,
I'm
he's
not
not
sure,
here,
but
I
I think lately Sam has been doing a lot more Canada work and a lot of Euro work.
He said he wants to return to finish Paris or something. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I mean, it will happen when it will happen, I suppose.
Yeah, our main slogan.
I mean, that's maybe something that not everybody understands, but you're practically free to do whatever you want to do in ProMods, which is, I think, our greatest strength and our greatest weakness at the same time. Because focus is something we have a lot of difficulty with. On the other hand, being able to do what you like to do that's the point where people make the nicest things, right?
Of course.
So, yeah. And then it's always a stressful balance. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, you're just passing through a really cool area right now. I mean,
Yeah, I'm
very
watching the stream, so I'm a few minutes behind, I fear, but yeah,
Welcome to Central Asia.
yeah, but this is one of those classic things, right? You just let people do whatever they want, and they come up with these ideas. Yeah,
I mean,
go ahead,
this
right?
is what I would say what sets us apart from like other mapping groups, stuff like this.
Yeah,
Those
for sure,
unique
I'd say
little
so.
details and things like that. Not even SCS has in their map.
I mean, I never joined other mapping groups, so I'm not sure how they work, but I don't.
Please don't join other mapping groups.
I mean, I feel like we don't really pressure people in doing things certain way. I mean, we do sometimes pressure a little bit in finishing things or fixing things, and of course try to steer people towards using good techniques. But I don't really think we ever say like, oh, don't build a city center, only build the ring roads or something like that, or those roadworks you're adding right now, that's stupid. No, I don't think that ever.
We're not a company. We don't have like a pipeline or things that we do.
No.
Yeah, it's not completely true because sometimes we do say that some things are just not working out, or it'll still take too long. But
Yeah, we always have to make
Yeah,
certain
but-
decisions, and it doesn't make Martin's
Yeah.
life very easy doing it this
Yeah,
way.
but what I mean is like, oh,
Yeah.
we need to do like 3 cities in this country for the next update. You and
No.
you go and do it. We don't have that.
No, exactly. I mean, we could organize more like a company, but I don't think that will be very fun.
Not a good motivator for voluntaries.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, everybody does this in their free time as a volunteer,
Right.
so
Everybody is here because they want to be.
yeah, but yeah, I mean, it's two ways, right? We don't put any pressure expectations on the one side, and on the other side, that's what you get with the freedom, right? That's basically
Mhm. Yeah.
the flip of the
Downside.
coin. I mean, imagine if we would run like a real company, then we would of course expect everybody to do like 40 hours a week, and we would need to have a proper management structure.
Yeah.
I would give myself some stupid title like CVO, whatever, you know, that kind of stuff.
ProMods CEO.
Yeah.
No. CEO can be Skull. I will be like Chief Vision Officer or whatever. you call those
CTO
people.
maybe? CEO.
Oh,
People that sit there and look
yeah.
pretty.
Yeah, exactly. You know, those people you wonder like why do we have those people in the organization? That would be a good position for me, I'd say.
This is a really good question that's coming from our own Scan. I imagine he also has his own answer to this. What is the best additions to the map editor in the past few years?
Visibility area.
Yup.
visibility area, yes.
Oh yeah.
PVC
Yeah.
wouldn't exist without that.
How
Not the
for
way
the
it is, at
people who
least.
don't know who the map editor works, me, what is one of them?
Visibility area is actually sort of like a rectangular area on the map that you can define, and then you can link objects to, which you can say hide these objects or show these objects behind the cut plane. And what you can do with that is actually cram in a lot more scenery than you should normally be able to with the old techniques.
Yeah.
So we have a lot. So we have a lot of overlapping sceneries, and SCS is also using this a lot in the newer developments.
But
So,
is this a addition to the map editor, or is this more a additional to the game environment?
That's
You
the thing.
understand my
In,
question?
you mean so? It's more a thing for the game environment, and not exactly the map editor itself.
Because I'm curious, like, is there
Okay,
something
good
that was added to the map editor? What people really think, like, oh, that's great addition that was added recently. I mean, I have a few, but I'm curious what you guys think.
Richie, I'm gonna give you a warning now, man. If you don't drive faster than that, you're not gonna be able to climb them Kazakh hills.
Oh
You're gonna
god.
suffer.
We're going like 40 right now.
I actually went a
recommend
bit ahead,
70.
and I've repaired my truck.
No, I'm gonna
Oh,
crash.
I wouldn't do that.
Oop. Of course, I crashed again just driving out of the. Just repair my truck and then I hit the fence. And that's 4% damage again.
You can see this over here.
Oh, this is not even close to being a hill in Kazakhstan. That's a hill for like Dutch standards.
Oh, come on.
Oh, Mandel's
Oh
going to
yeah,
have
let's
something to
joke
say.
about Dutch people now. Let's
know,
joke about Netherlands now, please. I want to hear this more.
No. It's just it's out of
Netherlands slander won't be tolerated.
Yeah.
No,
You
nobody's
know why Dutch
hitting on
people are so
anything.
tall? You know why the Dutch people are so tall?
Yeah, so you don't see hills. That's why you tell you don't have hills.
We don't
No,
need to
because
see the hills
the-
because we're 6'5".
Because the shorties didn't survive the drowning.
Well, that makes sense. Unfortunately.
This question is really good for you guys. If someone is completely new to mapping, and would be interested in mapping, what would you suggest that they do? What's like the best start point for someone new?
Don't start
project
multiple
you think of.
projects.
Yeah, definitely.
First is start small. Just really start small with something that you can actually handle, because otherwise it can be demotivating really soon. And that is also related to one thing that a mistake I see a lot of people make, and that is just don't start one-to-one maps. Just don't do that. So many people they think, oh, it's cool if I can make this one-to-one and I have this real big skill and I don't have to cut anything. But that is the trap. You can't cut anything then. You have to make everything as real, and that brings expectation, brings pressure, and also you would have to model every single street, and you have no idea how much work that is.
People don't have any idea how much time it takes to do even 100 meters.
I took like 6 months to make a 500 kilometer long road in the middle of the desert. It's just flat, straight road.
Yeah, so even with 119, it's a lot of work. And if you do this one-to-one, you don't want to do that. You just
don't do it.
If that's the one takeaway, you just don't even try. It's not worth trying.
Yeah, I mean, think yourself. How many one-to-one maps survive?
Yeah, because there's another problem is that if you build a 1-to-90 map, well, you can build on existing content from both other mappers or SCS, and then people are not as much reliable for new content from you as you are if you are a 1-to-1 map. If you are a 1-to-1 map, usually you're not compatible with anyone. And then all the content is depending on you. So if you don't build anything, you don't have any new content for the map, and people may lose interest in your map.
Mm-hmm.
And this is also not that great because most of these 1-to-1 maps also end up really small because it's so much work.
Guys, floor it. Floor it. You're not gonna be able to climb this. Floor it. I'm telling you.
Where are we driving is one in Twitch. We are in Kazakhstan. Specifically, there.
You're in the middle of nowhere.
In the middle of nowhere in the Mangistal region.
Literally.
It's in between. It's in between Shatpe and Bainu. It's in the middle of nowhere.
We are in a desert.
But believe it or not, this is the main. This is one of the main highways there.
Also for beginning mappers, just also look up the work that. Look up some of the tutorials that are there. For instance, I think Stefan has made some videos, and also try to dissect the work that SES has done. They set the standard, and if you may be dissecting the work of, even just trying to understand how the areas they mapped, how they are constructed, maybe that helps you with understanding how this map works, what you can do with these items, and just experiment with it. And don't be afraid to fail.
Oh, this is an interesting one. We just went on from this because we were talking about how much longer it takes to build 1-to-1 to 1-to-19. How much time does it take, on average, to build a section of road?
Depends on the place.
Yeah,
I would say
a matter of weeks.
if you're lucky, maybe a 100 meters for every 2 hours. sometimes better, sometimes worse.
Or another thing, if you have something like a cloverleaf interchange, for me that takes about 8 to 10 hours
Wow.
just to fill it in.
Same person has asked.
Yeah.
What about an entire city?
Oh. Moms.
I've once tracked how much time it took to build Lyon.
It depends on the size. of the
Lyon took 280 hours.
Wow.
So yeah, so if you admit that was just the small scale. So imagine if you built a 1-to-1, you're looking at years.
Oh, you guys
okay,
actually managed pretty well to get over this hill.
A bit of future planning. Oh, that's a bus.
Oh, that's Ruckus crashed. Okay.
Wait, what? Sorry,
Oh, that's
crashed?
Richie. Oh, sorry, Richie. No, Richie. Just thought
Oh,
Richie
okay.
crashed, but
Crashed into a bus.
Oh.
Maybe it's Nico? No? Maybe we don't know something?
Nico wasn't driving.
I'm not even driving. Come on.
Well, you never know.
This
Yeah,
question
the
from
thing is with,
YouTube comes in, it's very, very far ahead in time. When are we going to hit version 3? And if so, we know anytime soon, will there be any plans?
How the hell are we gonna plan for that?
I was gonna say, let's get to 2.8 first.
No.
At this
We
point,
have
it's like
absolutely no idea.
Yeah, we don't have
5
any idea
years?
what we're gonna add in
There's no way.
2.75.
probably more.
Like we said, we don't have pipelines. We just say like, oh, what's done? Oh, this. Okay, let's beta test. That's it.
Version
Yeah, that's-
3.0 is a lie. After 2.99, we will start making 2.99.1 and then 2 and then 3. But
No, then we go to 2.10.
2.100.
2.10.
Like Minecraft.
What? There's nothing that says that we can't do that.
Oh, but why?
If you want to play the version of like 5 years of later, you can just download it from the ProMods website, from the compatibility page.
As we approach the end stretch of this convoy, I want to hear from you guys. Away from ProMods, what would you say when you play the game are mods that you can't live without?
I can live without it, but I really like Cybermap because it really blends in well with Great Step.
Yes, Cybermap and probably Sud de France. That's also great.
I have no idea what that is.
It's a small France. It's not small, but it's a map of southern
France.
France.
Yeah. Yeah, but I have absolutely no idea what's going on, like map combos and whatever.
No.
I would. Ooh, oh, big
Oh yeah,
crash.
I saw that happening. Yeah, I saw that happening.
Like the last
Nico,
time.
we
Save
know
it.
you're somewhere in one of our drivers. It's definitely you.
Nico is the
There's no
AI.
doubt. A secret agent, yeah.
We are
Why
currently
do you guys
terrorizing the
think
traffic
like-
with Mandel.
Well,
This
check that
question
out.
comes in on YouTube from DNS. Bit of a more technical question. I wouldn't know anything because I'm not this big of a computer nerd. How good are your computers? What are your... Do you need the best computers to make these maps?
No.
No, not
Definitely
necessarily.
Definitely not.
No, but it does help.
Yeah,
yeah.
of course.
Well, I used to do some stuff on a 950M. Currently, I use a pretty beefy computer, but it's still possible on old computers, definitely.
Yeah.
But a better computer
Like-
helps.
I have some experience with like a really low-end hardware. When I started out in 2020 first, I had like a laptop of like 200 euros. real crappy one. It's basically impossible to map with that. Like you do need some, like some specs on your PC at least.
Yeah, I have.
The editor
also
does take some, quite a bit of processing power.
The biggest factors are probably your GPU.
Yeah.
No, it doesn't have to be your top line the GPU. You just need a decent GPU. So, for instance, I have a GTX 1660, and that is already more than sufficient. Well, I also have a laptop with an internal graphics card, which it can run the map editor, but it's really slow and it looks like crap. So then it's not recommended. But and the other thing that also is a big factor is having an SSD.
Oh, yeah.
Because then the game loads and saves a lot faster.
And you want to save a lot.
Yeah.
Because losing a progress even for 5 minutes can be so darning.
Oh yeah.
When I'm working on my STS stuff, I actually have autosave set to an interval of 0 seconds, so that it will always autosave.
Does that not make it slow?
At some points it does interrupt a bit, but on the other hand, it has saved me a few times for losing work.
But what often also helps
something
is
that.
to.
Oh,
Go ahead.
sorry. That's probably like something that everyone at ProMods at least experiences once, like losing work due to a crash.
Oh yeah, it's classic.
Yeah.
And one of the things I often do is limit the work scope. So instead of loading like the whole module, only load the parts that you really need, and then the autosave takes like 2 seconds. And then I'd say it's totally worth it if every 5 minutes it autosaves for like 2-3 seconds. But if you have the whole Europe module loaded, it takes like a minute to save if you're unlucky, and then it becomes more annoying.
The hard way when I started out.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Oh no. But yeah, I actually recently upgraded my computer, and one of the biggest things that I did was getting a lot more SSD space. And there I noticed a big improvement in performance with saving and such and loading.
Yeah, SSDs is probably the biggest improvement in that regard, but also a good amount of RAM will help you a lot, and a good processor. Especially the single core needs to be pretty good because the game is really poorly optimized when it comes to multi-threading, but that's probably key combination.
Multi-threading?
It does, but it's I mean, yeah, not the greatest way. And for the people who know a little bit about programming, creating something that's single-threaded towards multi-threading is just very, very hard. So I can understand that. But I think when
once I was doing on work, I used the program that multi-threading, but the problem was that all kinds of data streams were trying to overwrite each other, and it completely corrupted the data.
Yeah, that's inherent to multi-threading indeed. That you have two processes that want to share the same resource. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's not a switch that you flick on or off.
No, it's not a setting. No.
No, it's a really complicated process, and if you do it wrong, you can completely break it.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, that's also the reason why. Okay, now we go really technical, but that's also the reason why in many languages concurrency has been done in a different way, where they try to hide a lot of complexity for the programmers to make it as foolproof as possible. But coming back to hardware, one of the things that I do think is that a laptop is probably not gonna cut it. I'm not sure. Do we even still have developers on laptops?
Yeah.
Oh, you? Well, but
Yeah, yeah, I
you're
feel like,
struggling, right?
Yeah, I have like a gaming laptop, but it works, but yeah, could be better.
Also,
Only
another
just.
thing, please use a screen bigger than 1980. Don't do it like me. I used to map on 1378 pixels by 700, something like that, and the menus didn't work. Literally.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah, for
Yeah, that's
instance,
what I
if you
Yeah.
downloaded
open,
as well on my $200 laptop.
yeah, if you have opened the prefab properties window, it will not fit on your screen.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I have to say the other way around. The editor also used to have a lot of hard time with 4K monitors. So.
Yeah, actually, like like everything gets very tiny when you have a 4K monitor. I actually do have one, and sometimes it's a bit annoying.
Yeah, I think the scaling doesn't really work well in the game, right?
I mean, it's there not at all. I mean, it just doesn't
Oh,
scale.
There you go. Yeah, that's.
I mean,
I have.
it's in.
Yeah, go
I
on.
mean, the UI elements have like fixed pixel size, and you can't really do anything about it.
Yeah, that's.
I think
yeah.
I think what you can do is actually change the resolution of the editor, but what it will do that it will like operate in a smaller window, but you won't be able to upscale it to full screen. So you can't really do anything about it if you have high DPI monitor.
Yeah, I'm glad I didn't buy the 4K a few years ago, but went for 4040p, which is, or what is it, Quad HD I think it's called, which does work pretty well. On the other hand, I have also an ultra wide, one of them, and there the editor also behaves a little bit weird,
Oh,
because basically it's.
Oh yeah, Richie disappeared.
I'm on your left.
Yeah, you disappeared on my screen. I don't even see you.
What is going on? I just got boosted to sonic speed.
Oh, sorry.
This is very fun on force feedback.
For some weird reason, we are not seeing Rich.
Surprised that Mendelsoft is doing well there.
I got closed. No.
Because Mendel's bobtailing. It's not really good.
No, Rich died.
No. I cut
Richie,
literally the last road.
Unlucky.
Oh dear.
Starting soon, lol.
No, just go back.
Oh, Mendelsoft is struggling with his
Yeah, there's no way he's gonna
low
get.
trailer. Oh.
We are back. We are back.
Where is he?
We are
Oh, he's
so back.
I see you.
What? Why are we running? You would have to put rally of your life to catch us, probably.
Oh, vehicle malfunction.
Yeah, just one thing is that I realized we have tons of reconstruction in TGA in a great step, but while driving into it here, I didn't realize it was this big. This is such a big area.
It is huge.
Yeah, it's
Like-
Angostal region is the first one that we reworked entirely. It ends
This is
at
crazy.
Pulsari. Yeah. Yeah, man, a lot of shit.
I probably have a question. Do you guys have problems with 120 scale when building in the Great Step? Oh, no, sorry. Wait, is my voice not coming?
Yeah, but like I didn't build at a great step much.
Wait, is there no...
We said
No,
protected that.
is there
we
any
had-
horizons
Step
of music? No!
What?
There's currently no one speaking who has worked on Great Step, I think.
No, I
No, it's
have.
not- it's not
I made
Espo,
this
it's
entire
not.
area that you
Yeah,
guys
you
are
made this
driving.
entire
Oh,
thing.
Ted.
Yeah.
Oh, Ted is here, okay. Ted, did you struggle with 120 scale while building these areas?
Not really, because believe it or not, there's street view for this exact road that you guys are driving on. Because some guy decided to, yeah, some guy decided to like, okay, let's roam in this random road in the middle of nowhere, just because I want to. And then I saw it on Google Maps and I was like, I need to add this.
You can thank that crazy dude that decided to do this.
Yeah, I have no idea. And the street view ends exactly where the city entrance is.
Has there ever been any challenges when scaling anything in this game?
I mean, in some large cities, that's really hard.
Oh yeah.
I mean, like London or I don't know, Paris. That's where that's where the scale problem comes in.
The entire Benelux.
Yeah, when I was working on, still working on Amsterdam, that was like a pain to like treat it.
Big
I mean-
cities like that are more like 1 to 3 sometimes.
But really, when you are working on the Benelux, you start to know how brutal the scale is.
Yes. Yeah.
Because almost nothing fits.
How do you decide what you put in the game and what you just leave out?
Sometimes
Depends on
cultural
multiple things.
significance, sometimes prominence in the surroundings, sometimes it's being funny to you, your personal preference.
And
But it's very hard.
sometimes it's also you need to see if it actually fits. Because if it
Well-
not fits, it's bad.
That would always help.
But essentially, at least in my opinion, it's usually depends on how prominent it is. So, for example, you might have had some houses, but if there is a really interesting building that caught eye, it gains more importance among all other things. So you essentially cut the homes between two, for example, more interesting looking buildings, and it's usually helps if you are working in a not so hugely densely populated areas.
And now,
Oh no!
now we are approaching the finishing point of our adventure. I've been loving seeing all of the different trains going by on this route. It feels very, even though there's no AI traffic, it feels very alive.
Yeah, I mean, it's a pretty busy railway, isn't it?
Yeah.
Actually, yes, because it goes to Pulsari and Octo. Those are two very big cities.
I've been trying to catch up with you guys, but I keep on crashing.
Yeah,
How do you know-
feeling on this road is not good.
Oh no
It's not a great road on a trailer. That's a lovely area, like kind of a small village.
I think I've already stepped
this
out
is-
3 or 4 times.
Very lovely small village, yeah.
I had
Yeah,
a lot of
it's-
fun making this.
Yeah, and it's also very fun to drive in.
I might want
Small,
to
but-
continue this road at some point. There are more villages in the middle of nowhere.
I think convoy mode does not like this area. You keep going in and out of
Yes.
ghost mode.
Yeah, it's because
Oh, yeah, right,
yeah.
it's
this
literally-
entire area is like a company. So the entire city is marked as a company. But it's probably not configured too well.
So you could just theoretically deliver something to a house.
Yeah, but you guys are going close to like low poly stuff.
Yeah.
Oh no, wait, I have delay. I have delays.
Nice drift.
Nice drift.
I think it was a fun drive. It would be fun if I could join
With the
instead
world
of
or something.
crashing because of my internet.
Some crashing. Mandel. And we've basically covered the whole of our new expansion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, we haven't been to Octo, which is a really interesting place to see, but let people drive there. We're not gonna show everything.
Let people explore it. If you want to explore it, you can download it. ProMods.net.
Yeah, just do that.
if you like what you see, download it, play it.
You know what's funny? In July. I'm gonna be in many places in Kazakhstan, including Aktau. I'll be able to see if I did well or not.
We're going to be able to see the places you built in real life.
Yeah, that's probably a crazy experience. I haven't experienced that because how many places in Brazil has ProMods mapped?
Literally.
There we go.
And I think one screenshot will end the stream with. The weather was not raining.
Oh. I have to get to place.
No, there's no Mandel. Wait, don't take the screenshot. Wait for Mandel.
Wait for Mandel.
Right, let me show that I definitely did not have a skill issue. Definitely not.
I've just noticed that I'm the only one who is not driving a Volvo.
Yes,
Actually,
I
yes,
saw,
you're
I
right.
saw
I was
this
also
earlier.
driving a Volvo.
Everyone is in Volvos.
The best.
Volvo
Climbing
supremacy confirmed.
We did not plan that.
Oh, you hit my truck. Oh.
I've actually practiced in the zero camera, so I saw the whole thing from.
Maybe Mandel can come a little bit forward.
Yes. Perfect.
Go.
Anyone would think that ProMods is in love with Volvo.
Yeah.
Well, this
If they wanted to sponsor us, they could, but that probably won't happen.
invitation is there. Well, if you have been with us through the stream on both Twitch and YouTube, thank you for being with us. I hope we have answered a lot of your questions. We will be ending We'll be ending the stream now. And hopefully, maybe if there's a next time, you can join us again. And hopefully more very big updates are to come.
Yep.
Anything that the team
Goodbye,
to say
Rob.
before we leave?
Download ProMods.
Download ProMods.
Go play it. We haven't
And it will be
we
ready
haven't
when it's ready.
showcased everything. Yeah.
Download ProMods.
Have a good day or night.
Have
or
a good
whatever
day.
time it is.
And don't ask us for a release date.
My bones start to disconnect. My soul becomes hollow.